is the Big O Show. This 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 is...
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2025 Acura RDX, $399 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla. Not $24,000, $20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2025 Acura Integra, $289 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt and Rayom can help. After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2024 Acura ZDX, $299 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The game is final. Tua and the boys are in the locker room. Let's go over what happened in this game in our Dolphins post-game show with Big O. The post-game show is brought to you by Welt and Rayom, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, Toyota of Hollywood, RM Contractors. The stats are final. The insiders are ready. The platform is mastered by the one and only Sean Stanley. Now, let's find out what the Big O thinks about this matchup as we start our Dolphins post-game show. Here's Big O.
Oh, man. It was ugly. And I got to tell you, if you watch the pregame show, which most of you don't, because we have less than half the audience that we have in pre than we have in post. I picked them to lose. I picked them to lose 24-16. They lost 30-17. It was a disgrace. It's the same shit that we've been going through for 35 plus years. Towards the back end of the Shula years with Marino, all the way till now. The Dolphins have been choking dogs for 30-something years. Every big moment, they get their asses kicked. Every big moment, they choke like dogs. And it doesn't matter if it's Shula. Jimmy Johnson was a disgrace when he would get to the playoffs, dude. He was a disgrace. He was a joke. Wanstead was a joke. Just like McDaniel, really nice guy, but not a real leader. So what? Gase got to the playoffs once too. Big shit. It doesn't matter what coach it is, what era it is. It's the same thing. The Dolphins are soft. They get punched in the mouth, and they go crying like little girls right to their locker room. It's the same shit for 35 years. Same shit for 35 years. No Dolphins team has balls. No Dolphins team can constantly punch you in the mouth on the offensive and defensive lines. No Dolphin team since Shula has a competent leader on the sidelines. And I got to tell you, I don't dislike the talent on this team. I think this talent is, you can win with this talent. Not a Super Bowl, but you can win with this talent. With that dude is not a leader. His teams are never prepared. He's a CFU. Just like Julian Hill, a CFU. And for those of you that are new, that's our acronym for constant up. Just in case the kids are watching. You know, a CFU. This is what, and you watch this team and it's CFUs all over the place. Because you're not prepared physically, mentally, all of that. And these players will go to other places and help other teams win. That's what they're going to do. They're going to go to other places and help other teams win because they change environments. And guess who ran us over? Chris Brooks. So Chris Brooks was with the Chokers last year. Now he's not, because he's not a choker anymore, because he's not wearing aqua and orange. Because it doesn't matter what combination it is. They don't get it done. They choke. They fold. This has been a finesse team since the Marino years till now. They have never, ever been tough. They lost their toughness since the Killer Bee days. That was the last time you saw a tough Miami Dolphins team. Was the Killer Bee days. Since then, you've had nothing but finesse. And finesse over and over. You know, the Panthers learned their lesson quickly, dude. They got punched in the mouth. The new owners came in and learned right away. You know, the other owners didn't know and all that. The new owners came in right away and they like figured it out like, holy crap, we need to change like what this team is. They're soft. That's what the Panthers were. They were soft, and they figured it out. The Dolphins for 35 years, it's a little more than 35 years, but for 35 years, they haven't figured out that they're soft. The real word I want to use starts with a P and ends with a Y, you know, but oh my God, people get really touchy when you use that word. But that's what I think of the Dolphins. They're absolute and total IES too at the end also, by the way. Let's take out the Y. I mean, seriously, since there's several of them. It's the entire organization. It's just a soft-ass organization. You know, Dolphins are pretty. They're cute. I don't know how to make a dolphin noise. I have no idea how to do it, but whatever it is. You know, they're cute, I guess. That's, you know, the cute little dolphin. They want to be cute little dolphins and run around and catch little passes. And look, when push came to shove, Hateful Steve, you watching? What did I tell you, man? I told you if they don't run today, they don't win. They ran for 39 yards, 2.8 yards per carry. I mean, this is the shit that I've been going through for decades. Decades. It's the same shit. The faces change. You know what doesn't change? You and me. Everybody moves on. They all make their money. They all go to the, other places. They all move on with their lives because they're not real Dolphins. You and I are, right? Because I've been born into this shit. I ain't going anywhere. So I'm here next year and the year after and the year after that and the year after that and the year after that. And until they put me in a fucking coffin. And it'll probably be an aqua and orange coffin. But, you know, everybody moves on except us. We're the ones that carry the burden of the disastrous stuff that happened towards the end of the Shula era. We're the ones that carry the Danny and Jimmy shit. We're the ones that carry the porn stash for years. We had a coach that started social distancing before a pandemic ever hit in Adam Gase. That's the kind of trend-setting shit that we do here with the Miami Dolphins. Before social distancing was a thing, Adam Gase started it. We had a coach that nobody wanted to be around on the sidelines. I've never seen that in my life. We had another coach that was more worried about picking up trash from the floor. We had another coach that drafted a player because he loved his family. The kind of shit that happens here does not happen anywhere, bro. This is why you've been a soft ass organization for so long, dude. After all, what is threatening about a waddle dance? A penguin dance. Is there anything threatening about that? No, I don't think so. Anything threatening about a penguin? No, I don't think so. It's just, whew, it just gets tiring, dude. It gets tiring. Lisa, you see her on the chat board, Lisa Rose, who we met through the show, and obviously she's a friend, and so she's got my number, and so we're going back and forth. And today, when I got up, my wife goes to me, "We had a great night last night. We built the tree, you know. I built the Walt Disney monorail around the tree, all that kind of stuff. You know, the tree looks fantastic. We had it ready for Thanksgiving, which is always like a thing. If you can have your tree ready for Thanksgiving, it's there. Kind of is the kickoff of the season." And I got up, and I wasn't in a good mood. And my wife knew I was off right away because she's been with me for nearly 40 years. She goes, "What's wrong?" And I go, "I'm not looking forward to doing this show today." She goes, "Why?" And I go, "Because I know what's coming. And I know I'm going to be miserable, and I know they're going to lose, and they're going to be embarrassed, and then everybody's going to be pissed, and we're all going to be commiserating like we always do, and bitching and complaining, and all the shit that goes on, like what we've done for years. Whether I was on QAM or whether I was on, 640, or if I was wherever the hell I've been, doesn't matter. Or here on our own platform. Nothing's changed in my 34 years of doing this. Nothing's changed. And as the Smiths would say for the Dolphins, nothing's changed. I still love you. Oh, I still love you. But maybe only slightly less than I used to. I don't know. I don't know how much I can take it. It's like somebody said in the pregame show, being a Dolphins fan is like being married to your spouse who has cheated on you like 30 times over. Oh, I'll trust you this time. It's like being married to Tristan Thompson. Right? We're Khloe Kardashian and the Dolphins are Tristan Thompson. And there's Tristan Thompson just cheating on us all the time, having kids, all that, and we're like taking him back all the time. Welcome back to the family. How do you like that analogy? Huh? We're Khloe Kardashian and the Dolphins are Tristan Thompson. So is that analogy hit you right there? Huh? That's the breakdown. That's how low we go. Okay? We're a slutty Kardashian. our standards, I tell you. Woo, man, we really need to check ourselves because we've wrecked ourselves. Oh, my God. Man, we have wrecked ourselves. By the way, we want to thank R&M Contractors and Custom Drywall. Without Ray and Mike and so many of our great sponsors, and you see them there all over, and please visit our sponsors because without them, we are absolutely lost. But Ray and Mike do excellent work. 305-345-3649 for complete remodel. If you're looking to do it here in Dade or Broward County, call R&M Contractors. If you live in a condo, they also do work in condos. And so a lot of people kind of need some help with the condo situation. So call Ray or Mike, and they can help you out. 305-345-3649. As always, you can support the show many ways. Visit our amazing sponsors. Hit the like. Please hit the like. We've got over 1,000 people watching and only 148 likes. I appreciate the 148, but come on, man. There's like 850 of you out there sitting there not hit the like button. Come on, we're working hard on Turkey Day for you guys. So please. And remember, you can make a donation. We love the super chats, but stinking YouTube takes 30%. So we tell you Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can use the QR codes that Sean is going to show you. And you can also make a donation through PayPal. You can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, and we always appreciate it. Let me go to Venmo first. Peter German, thank you, sir. Says, honestly, I knew the Dolphins and McDaniel would go back to his addiction to the passing game after 3 wins. He just couldn't learn the run was the basis of those wins. He abandons it every time. He just doesn't stick with it and give it a chance to grow, and then he puts his offensive linemen at risk because they're better when you add the run, and that gives them that balance. If you put them at pass blocking the entire time, you're just going to open it up to mistakes. So, Peter, I'm with you 100%. Andrew Watson, Big O, my 13-year-old son Noah says he loves the show, and you remind him of his old man, me. He says the Butterball actually Butterball the Dolphins. How is that possible? We don't need a visual of this one, LOL. He wants to know if Finkel really is Einhorn. All I know is, what are we doing to our kids making them Dolphins fans? Okay? My daughter's a Dolphins fan. Why? We're doing a disservice to our kids. Okay? Peter German on Venmo again. This is a soft team built on hopes and dreams. McDaniel never outcoaches or outmanages his opponent. Greer is responsible for the soft group of talent we have. I don't think the group is soft. I think the coach is soft, and he started it from the get-go with his stupid little leadership stuff and his days off constantly. And guys, this is a soft-ass team because your coach is soft. If you get a better coach that coaches their asses up and cracks some whip, you'll get better results. And by the way, if you have a smarter coach who has his team prepared constantly and they go and they have success, it motivates players. It keeps them focused. Bad coaches lose teams. So, yeah. Okay. Washington killed us right off the bat. Too many penalties. Coaching was an issue. Toughness was an issue. Same old Finns. So painful. I'm very thankful for your show, Big O. Thank you very much. Anthony Lizzie, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then Watson follows up. The Dolphins got butterballed is the chicken coup by the Packers. The soft label was earned once again. This team can never win a meaningful game if their lives depended on it. The Dolphins should draft some women from San Jose State volleyball players. I'm sure they would look good too. Thank you also for the Venmo, as always. I appreciate you. Leon Fresco, thank you for the Venmo. Man, Tua's short. Jordan Love looked giant next to Tua. Flo was right. Tua's not the problem. On one drive, Tua was bad because he misses Achane and he misses Tyreek. He was off on those two throws, and that killed that drive. But overall, he wasn't. I'm not blaming any of the players. Overall, I just think that with that guy on the sidelines, you can't win shit. You can't win shit with that guy. I'm sorry. I'm done with that guy. I've been done with that guy already. Christian DiMartino, thank you. 12 rushing attempts combined for 33 yards. Horrible play calling. 4 downs inside the 5-yard line and can't put it in the end zone. Not kicking a field goal in the first half. McD is not the guy. I agree, Christian. Thank you, sir, for the Venmo. Adam Pinkser, there are some sure things in life. Death, taxes, and McDaniel's Dolphins losing to a team above 500. McD has to go. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. You can't bring McDaniel back next year. No one believes in McDaniel. From the first year, the man didn't know the down against Buffalo. That was the sign. But we're all human, so we give him a chance. But it was the sign. You can't be that incompetent and not know that you're the one play calling. You don't know the down? You don't know the down? You don't know the down. I'm sorry. You don't know the down. You're the head coach and play caller. You don't know the down in a playoff game. That was the sign. But as human beings that we are, we give people second chances. Okay, since then, how many more screw-ups? Question answered. Leon Fresco, again on Venmo, thank you, sir. Dolphins lost this game the day the schedule came out. They were never going to win road games Thursday night in Green Bay. Season ended after loss to Arizona and really ended because we lost to Tennessee and Indy. That's right. That's when I said the season was over, remember? Okay. Steve M. Hateful Steve in the house on Venmo. That was a perfect summation of Tua's 5 seasons so far. Superb stats that lead to nothing of significance. Certainly not the killing of narratives and conceal the fact that when it actually mattered, accuracy vanished like a fart in the wind. I blame him for one of those drives. I do blame him. He was bad on one of those drives. But overall, I'm just the missing of the tackles, the pre-snap penalties, the in-game mistakes. It just, dude, there's so much going on there that it's just, for me, there is no way you compete with that guy on the sidelines. No way. I think any other good coach has 4 more wins easily on the board. Easily. Anyway, Cesar Zola, thank you for the love. I appreciate you on Cash App. I had my money on the Finns to ruin Thanksgiving. Damn. Well, I mean, it was a good bet on your part. Okay. Listen, I didn't think they were going to win myself. So I was hoping to be wrong, and I was hoping people would be chiming in. Oh, you're an idiot. You didn't believe. You're a hater. You're all that kind of stuff, whatever fans come up with. And I was hoping for that. That would have been fun at least, because, hey, I'll take it. If the Dolphins win, I'll take the embarrassment. I'm good with it. But I didn't see that. There was no part of me seeing them winning this game. Let's get to the super chats. Thank you for the super chats. Sean, true Fin fan. I'm so done, bro. Same old Dolphins. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I think one day I might be watching one of these games off the coast of Costa Rica or Panama, chilling, watching the sunset on the west. And at least it'll be a much better way of taking the pain. I don't know. It might happen one day. I could see myself just somewhere on a coast somewhere, relaxing. So at least when I suffer future Dolphin defeats, maybe I'll just have a drink in my hand, got the toes in my sand, and woo! What a beautiful girl. And I got my wife right next to me. True Fin fan, I've never fooled. Good night, guys. True Fin fan is out. Is out. He farts out, and he's gone. Next up, Frankie says, oh, you wanted Washington more involved. Yeah, I know, right? God. But more as a receiver. I wasn't thinking about the special teams one. Oh, my God. You know, he was terrible today. Poor kid. Poor kid. Next up, thank you, Frankie. Appreciate it. Poor Washington. Kevin Beal, as soon as the muff punt and Green Bay scored, I told my wife it's over. Same old Dolphins. She was like, it's only 7-0. I said, babe, I'm traumatized. And Kevin, I don't blame you, brother. I don't blame you. I don't. It's the same shit that we've all been living here. Nothing changes. Next up, Sean. Man of 1,005 holds. Against mediocre teams, Dolphins are sharks. Against playoff teams, elite teams, Dolphins are just minnows in the NFL ocean. This team is always unprepared. They seem scared for some reason. It's the facts. Those are the facts. The Dolphins cave in like little bitches in big moments, and it's been going on for 35 plus years, brother. The back end of the Marino years all the way till now. Okay? That's the Dolphins' history. In Marino, they were choking in all the big moments at the end, and then all the way through. That's been the facts, man. Those are the facts. From Marino to Tua and everybody in between, they have been soft-ass choking dogs. And it was Shula's fault all the way through McDaniel. Why? Because they bred soft teams. That's it. And Jimmy used to talk all tough, but in the end, he got bitch slapped every single time in the playoffs. His teams weren't shit in the playoffs. He owns 62-7. He owns the biggest embarrassment ever. Nothing's changed, dude. For a long time. It's, we have too many media that, haven't been around long enough, and they think it's something that happened the last 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 15. Not even 15. They don't even go that far. They think it's recent. It's been going on for decades, dude. Decades. Shula's teams were soft, and they got punched in the mouth all the time. The Buffalo Bills bitch slapped them all the time. Why? Because they were a soft bunch. Come on, man. What are we gonna try to hide the reality of those teams back in those days? We're gonna try to hide the reality of what would happen when Jimmy Johnson's teams would go to the playoffs? Sure, build up your schedule during the regular season, beat some of the soft teams, and then when it all counts, you get punched in the mouth. Once in a blue moon, you get lucky, you win a first-round game, but what are you going to do? You're going to advance past the second? No, you don't do that anymore. Come on, man. Let's go. Next up. It's just too many of you like to lie to yourselves. Frankie, Chris Brooks ran all over us too. Yes, there's no doubt he did. But that's why it tells you, Frankie, that the players you have right now, it's not that they're soft, okay? It's that your program, your entire existence is soft. The Dolphins as an organization are soft, have always been soft for so freaking long. So that's why these players will go somewhere else and they'll become tough guys all of a sudden. And they'll start winning. And they'll start winning tough games and all that. And why? Because they went somewhere where they're not going to take any shit. No, here we have a team that Tyreek and Waddle walk off the field because they feel like it on third down. Bro, who's ever heard of that? It's a country club there that McDaniel runs. That's why he's a clown show, dude. McDaniel's an absolute clown show. And you cannot look at your fan base in the eye and tell them, oh, no, we only need to tweak things, but, we're going to give Mike another chance. There's no way anybody will take you serious. Then you just raise prices on everybody. I mean, seriously, man. Come on. What are we doing here? Next up, Michael Valladares. McD's coaching philosophy. If a player was late 30 minutes yesterday and 15 minutes today, he praises him because he's doing better. Soft coach, team will forever be a reflection of its coach. Exactly. Mike McDaniel is a soft-ass coach, and this is a soft-ass team. That's all it is. And it's been a soft organization forever. So Mike McDaniel fits in perfectly with Joe Philbin, fits in perfectly with Jimmy Johnson. He fits in perfectly with the back end of Shula. He fits in perfectly with Wanstead. He fits in perfectly with all the other coaches that have been here, that they all choke in big moments, that they all get pushed around, that they all fold in every big game that happens if they even get to the playoffs. Okay? Nothing's changed, dude. Next up. Because, we know McDaniel sucks, but let's not make it out like he's the only one. It's been like that all the way to Shula. Okay? Shula. Rest in peace. Thank you, old man. We appreciate everything you did. The back end of his run, woo, doggy. Sad. Soft. Constantly soft. So let's call shit like we see it. Let's have some balls here. Let's really look in the mirror, okay? This is a disease that has been all over this franchise for decades. Okay? Let's go. Now, that's why I tweeted out, I mentioned it. This is a franchise that hasn't accomplished jack shit in over 35 years, dude. Jack shit. They don't accomplish anything. The only thing they accomplish is that they're a constant embarrassment. That's what the Dolphins accomplish every single time. They're a constant embarrassment to us, the fans, because the rest of them make money. Owners making money. Everybody's making money. Players are cashing in. Everybody's cashing in. You're all paying, right? I'm paying. Look, see all that stuff out there? That cost me money. Cost me money. Thank the Lord for Bitcoin. That saves my ass. Holy crap. Next up, toxic fart. People, don't blame the cold. McDaniel can't beat teams above 500. This is only the game on TV. Why is Julian Hill on my favorite team? I have no idea. Thank you, toxic fart. And why is Julian Hill? That's crazy. That is, I can't figure that one out. Next up, Corso Travin. Oh, I'm tired of hope, tired of empty promises, tired of constant mediocrity. Where is the light at the end of the tunnel? Tua can't be trusted, unfortunately, was off when it mattered again. I'm not going to blame this game on Tua. He had one bad drive, I will say that. But listen, in the end, nobody looks good. But I'll tell you this. Here's the part that I disagree with all of you on Tua. This is the part that all of you are, completely stupid on this. Okay? Tua's not the problem. All right? Tua's fantastic. He's fine. But you got to run the offense the right way around the kid. You got to have the line. You got to have the running game. He finally figured out 3 years in that he's got to use the tight end. But without the running game, you put him in a disadvantage. You don't give him big receivers. Everybody else, when you have shorter quarterbacks, you look for bigger targets. Okay? You don't get them bigger targets because you're ignorant. You're an ignorant coach that keeps wanting short, fast receivers because you're an ignorant coach. No matter how smart McDaniel is, he's as ignorant as it gets, dude. Okay? I'm sorry, but, the way he treats the running game, the way he treats the passing game, his philosophy with receivers, he's the only ignorant fool that keeps using Oompa Loompas for fades. You can't win like that for your quarterback. You can't win for your team like that. You can't win, period. Tua is the best quarterback you've had by miles since Marino. Miles. It's not even close. He's not the problem. If you built the team the right way with a really good line and a positive running game constantly where you have a couple of horses that you can pound the shit out of people, Tua would kill you. But if you're going to play behind the eight ball, you're not going to have a running game. You're not going to have receivers that can be big targets for Tua. Sorry, It's just I can't help you. I can't help you. You're an ignorant coach. I can't help you, dude. You're an ignorant coach. So I'm sorry that the quarterback is not the problem here. Okay, I get it with some of you that complain about it because you really don't understand football. Corso Taven, you really don't understand football. So it's cool. They won a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer. You think Tua in his sleep is 100 times better than Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson? It's just that some of you out there, you have this thing, you're stuck on Tua, and it makes you stupid. Mr. Corso Taven, whatever. Appreciate the thing, but I'm not going to, just because you make a donation, I'm not going to tell you you're a dumbass motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Pardon the French. But there's too many of you that are stupid. You don't really understand football. You don't understand that what's happening around Tua is the problem. See, with Saban, he understood it. Mammoth line, run the ball, big tight ends, get him the receivers. You'll never touch him, and he'll just pick you apart. That's what they did with Breeze. That's what they did with Brady. Brady can't move, but he had the best offensive line coach, had 2, 3, 4 running backs, had one or two tight ends. They got it. Do they do that with Tua? No, dude. But again, too many of you don't understand football. That's why you say stupid shit like that. Oh, Tua's not the guy. Bro, Tua's not the problem here. The running backs aren't the problem. The offensive line's not the problem. The defense is not the problem. Your problem is your coach. He doesn't know how to coach. You got to know how to coach. Sean, do me a favor. Give me 30 seconds. I got to turn on the AC, bro. It's hot as a mother here. Crank it.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla, not $24,000, $20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Sad that I have to do football 101 with some of you out there, but that's all right. That's cool. You're fans. You're fanatical. You don't really understand the game. You're just pissed and you use your rage and you think it's the quarterback. It's just, some of you, it's embarrassing, to be quite honest, for some of you. Next up, I feel embarrassed for some of you. Next up, Big O, the Dolphins are at the goal line and can't get a 1 year. I know it's a joke, Devin. Absolute joke, because of your coach, because he built a soft-ass team and doesn't demand the run game from day one, did not demand the run. You can't just turn on the run game whenever you want. Oh, well, no, now we're going to go pass happy. Oh, now let's become a run team. No, dude, that's not how it goes. That has to be. Do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers, do you think they just turned it on, or did they turn it on back like 50 years ago? And no matter who they put in a coach, boom, the Green Bay Packers, since they damn it. What's his name? The GM. Anyway, since that great GM that I'm now forgetting, they have dominated in quarterbacks for now a couple of generations. And they do it right. And there's a culture in place on how they develop quarterbacks, and it works for them. Cultures are developed. They're not just all of a sudden they come up like magic or some shit like that. It's not going to happen. That's just not the case. This team is run the wrong way by this guy, and he fails all his players there. Every single one of them, he fails because he doesn't know how to cook the ingredients. He's got a bunch of great ingredients. He just doesn't know how to put it together. And then he gets in the way of his, and this is where the front office fails too, because I would have forced him to go with the tight end all the way back from Gesicki. I would have forced him to have bigger receivers on the field and not say no. But unfortunately, the front office is kind of giving him too much. And that's where the front office, unfortunately, is going to probably pay a price because they failed with Flo and now, unfortunately, McDaniel. And you know what's the sad part? All these contracts, everything, it all goes to waste. The window closes, everything closes because it's just too hard to fix at this point. It puts everybody behind the eight ball. But there's no way. I told you already, I know plenty of people in that organization, and they're all, a bunch of them at different levels are worried about their jobs. Because they know that that guy's not the guy deep down inside. There's no way anybody believes in that guy. Yes, sir, Sean.
Oh, was it Ron Wolf you were thinking about?
Yes, Ron Wolf. Thank you. Yes, Ron Wolf, who was just an absolute god. Absolute god. Eric Eskander, thank you for the love on Cash App, sir. Happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very kind. Let's see. Jeffrey Anthony, 2 first names. That's always very interesting. Thank you for the love on Venmo. Big O, I feel like you and I are the only Tua fans left. I watch this kid play. He's so quick to read and react. He's got such good anticipation and accuracy. Get him in a traditional pro system and he will excel. Everybody wants these off-script backyard QBs. So frustrating. I know. He's your traditional drop back, read the field, react, and he can do whatever you need him to do. But you got to know how to use a player the right way. You know, under Mike McDaniel, Gesicki's useless. Well, in Cincinnati, he's not. Under Flo, he wasn't. So it all depends. You know how to use the player or you don't. And they don't know how to use this guy doesn't know how to use the player. So he puts him at a disadvantage on it. He puts his whole team at a disadvantage consistently, bro. It's not just a Tua thing. He puts his whole – when you play Julian Hill, you are hurting your team. Every time you play Julian Hill, you hurt your team. Every time. That's a bad coach. That's a horrible coach, dude. We are 3 quarters into the season. And you're still playing Julian Hill. That's amazing to me. Crazy. Peter German says, the only thing consistent about this team is their ability to make me love tequila even more. Thanks for all you do, Big O. Peter German. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Joel Delgadillo says, I'm so tired. Actually thought we would be surprised. Yeah, no, we're not getting surprised, dude. All right, next up on the super chats there, man. Brett, Hans, and Franz, and we're here to pump you up. Tua bailed out, missed tackles, no run game, and bad coaching. The low IQ fans need to see reality and drop the blame Tua narrative. The team is soft. Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's not Tua, bro. Please. Tua's not the problem. You got to know how to run offense and run whatever you have. If you have Josh Allen, you run a different offense than you run with Tua. That's just the way it is. And with Jalen Hurts, because those two guys can't do what he does, just like he can't do what they do. But everybody's different, but you got to know what to do with them. You're not going to make Peyton Manning or Drew Brees or Tom Brady or Dan Marino play like Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. They can't do that. That's not their style. So why didn't Marino win shit? Because he didn't have a running game. He didn't have a defense, and they were soft. And every time they got in a big moment, his team folded like a cheap tent. Why? Because his defense would give up way more points than he could score every single damn time. So every time the Dolphins with Marino would finally get against a good team, even when they got to the Super Bowl, dude, San Francisco was so much better. Why? Because Miami was soft. And San Francisco, yeah, they had the speed of Jerry Rice and John Taylor and all that, but they could punch your ass in the mouth. And that's something that Miami could never do with Marino in 84. They were a soft-ass team, and they got treated that way by San Francisco. They got bitch-slapped by San Francisco because San Francisco dominated the offensive and defensive lines. And Miami was a soft-ass team thanks to Shula. Okay? So this has been going on for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't lived it or you don't know it or you're uneducated, I can't help you. Next up. JC, Canadian Big O fan. Where was all the razzle-dazzle McDaniel running game? Zero toughness. New coach, please. Amen. Thank you, JC. Hang in there in Canada, my friend. Next up. Colin, Big O, it's 1st and 1 at the goal line, and we can't run a QB sneak, Josh. Well, that's not who he is. That part I'm not worried about. If you had a real running game, you should be able to punch it in, dude. I mean, that's it. You don't have to have the QB sneak. It doesn't have to be there all the time. Okay? And I don't need to put Tua at risk in that sense. Run the damn ball. If you actually had a real physical running game, you don't have to worry about that. If you had offensive linemen can come off the line and hit people and push them back, you wouldn't be worried about that. Next up. Too much. You're too hooked on this Tua thing. Toxic Fart, Big O, the waddle dance is dangerous for the elderly. Yeah, I know. That's true. That's true, especially at his age. Yeah, he's in his 80s, right? Yeah, you may not be wanting to waddle too much. I don't know if I'm going to be waddling at him in my 80s. I don't even know if I want to waddle right now. Next up. Devin Jordan, by the way, Big O, I'm not paying Javon Holland. He's not worth it for me. Too many. You know, I got to tell you something. I'm a big Javon Holland fan, and Devin, I'm starting to lean your way because I see him make a lot of mistakes, dude. And that, to me, it's a not only missed tackles, because today a lot of people miss tackles, but he's out of place. And I've caught him several times with that. And I got to say, I might be leaning more to you guys on that one with the Holland one. Next up, and I really like him, but man, is there something going on there? Frankie is again in. The players are soft because they don't need they don't need a soft ass coach to motivate them to not be soft. Yeah, that's kind of what it is when you can Frankie, when you can walk off the field whenever you want, that's a soft environment. You know, try doing that with Shula. I can't. First of all, Clayton and Duper would never walk off the field on a 3rd down. They would be wanting the ball. They would be battling and driving Marino crazy in the huddle, fighting for the ball. Okay, all in fun and all that crap, but serious competition. Like they wanted it. So those guys wouldn't go take a breather on third down. That's a country club. So, yeah. Next up. Yeah, Mace, told you so, Dolphin fanboys. Big O, always right. Well, I wish I was wrong, my brother. I wish I was wrong, you know. Hey, but Ty in the Bronx. It's not really Mace Taggart. It's Ty in the Bronx. You were right on Jordan Love. Years ago on Sirius when I was over on Mad Dog's channel. So good call by you. You love Jordan Love. You wanted to take him early in the draft. I said take him later first round because he's a bit of a project. And the best thing that happened to Jordan Love is that he got to sit for 3 years because he was raw, and that allowed him to kind of learn. If you throw him in right away, he might have struggled some and had some real issues. The way the Packers do things for the quarterbacks, maybe everybody else should look at it. I know the money's involved, but man, they brought Aaron Rodgers along slowly, and they brought Jordan Love along slowly, and it worked for both. It's the way us older people, that's how quarterbacks used to be brought up. They never really started when they were rookies. They usually went through a process of a couple of years of learning, and then they played. You know what I mean? That's kind of the way it used to be. And the Packers still do it. And it's what I tell you about culture. And the Dolphins franchise has had a bad culture for a long, long time. A soft culture for a long time. The back end of Shula till now. Next up, it is David Tannenbaum. This is a soft team. Can't punch it in from the line from the one. Yeah, David. Thank you so much for the super chat, David. You're correct. And it's embarrassing. Next up, Johnny Pope. Why are the Dolphins so feminine? Does the name need to change? Seriously, maybe let's move it to London and be the Brawlers. I got this for the Dolphins from here on out. The Dolphins should no longer wear the original uniform ever again. Until whoever plays in that shitty-ass whale uniform that they have, until they start winning playoff games, they should not be able to wear that uniform. You know why? You disgraced that uniform tonight. And as far as I'm concerned, that's all you do to that uniform. Everything that Shula built has been destroyed. This franchise was royalty. It's now the dregs of the NFL. This franchise used to be clutch. This franchise used to be great. This franchise used to be the smartest team on the field more often than not, and now it's completely the opposite. I've kind of now made a turn that, you know what? You don't deserve to wear that logo over there. Where is it over there? There. You don't deserve to wear that logo. You shouldn't ever wear that logo ever again until you've earned it. That's the way I see it now. Okay? I love that logo. Do you ever see the whale here? I don't. The whale is never there because I hate the whale. I can't stand that logo. But you know what? That logo represents the pathetic stance of Stephen Ross. Okay? So that's your logo, brother. Wear the hell out of it every week of the year. Please don't wear this logo ever again. Please don't wear it. And please stop embarrassing that logo for me on Mondays and Thursday nights and Sunday night football and all of that. Or Black Friday, if they pick your sorry ass to be on the Black Friday. Do me a favor. Stay with the whale. Stay with that, dude. Stay with that. And stop wearing a logo that used to be about respect. You know, the logo you have now is what, you know, it's a joke. And that's what the franchise has been for a long time, a joke. It chokes in every big moment it's ever been in for nearly 4 decades now. You've lost the right to wear that logo. That logo used to represent like champions, like tough teams. Zonka with a broken nose running your ass over. You know, it used to represent something tough, something real, something that would win, something that you could believe in. I went into this game knowing you were going to lose. That sucks, dude. I never had that feeling one time in the Orange Bowl with Shula. Not one time in the Orange Bowl with Shula. I was walking in there confident as hell that you were always going to win. And then when you were playing on a Monday night, oh shit, we were unbeatable on Monday night. Back then, there was only a Monday night. But the Dolphins' record on Monday night back in those days was unbearable for the NFL. Great for us. I don't know if you guys, you young Dolphin fans out there, go ask your dad, your grandpa, all that. Hey, when they only used to play Monday nights for Shula back in the day, how were the Dolphins? Oh, we barely ever lost. They'll tell you right away. And every time the Dolphins were on a Monday night, they would start off with the record of the Dolphins. So, you know what? Wear your stupid new logo. Stop wearing this logo because you don't deserve to wear this logo. That would be my message now to Stephen Ross and his organization. In fact, don't ever go back to the old logo. No. You as an owner don't deserve to put that logo out there. Okay? As an owner, Stephen Ross, you don't deserve to be anywhere near that logo. You and your players and your entire team. So, let's do this. Put your little whale all over the place and don't ever touch that logo ever again. When you start winning playoff games, then you've earned the right to actually get that logo. Till then, wear your stinking little whale. Next up. Joel Tardif. What coach is out there that we could get? Dude, Mike Vrabel is the guy. I told you that weeks ago. When I told you back then with the Colts, I think it was the Colts game. Was it the Colts game that I wanted him fired? And Vrabel? I think it was, right? That's when I said the season was over. Vrabel, I said, go hire him now because it'll give him time to assess the team and the talent going into the offseason, and then you can tweak it. And with Vrabel, you'll get a tough team. Oh, you'll get a tough team. Vrabel won't take shit from people. That's who I would get. That's the only guy that I want right now. I can't think of a better coach right now at this point that's available. You know, like legitimately available. Next up. Jarrell Exposito. So I guess Deshaun Elliott was right about this team. But yeah, dude. I mean, that's old news, bro. That wasn't news what Deshaun Elliott said. I'm disappointed, but not surprised. I don't see a resolution, even if McDaniel gets fired. Well, it's at least it would be a step forward, Jarrell. Thank you for the super chat, sir. I appreciate it. But yeah, they're just soft. Next up. The Miami LGBTQs. Okay, next up. Thank you, Johnny Pope. Art of the sport. Oh, we need a hard-ass GM and coach that will come in here and clean house, start from scratch. Dude, this team is soft, tired of rooting. Okay, wasn't Parcells supposed to be that guy? Wasn't Saban supposed to be that guy? Wasn't Jimmy supposed to be that guy? We've done it all. We brought in the Hall of Fame coach. We brought in the Hall of Fame coach that was going to be the football operations guy. We've brought in the up-and-coming hot coordinator offensively, defensively. We've done it all, dude. It's all failed. We've brought in Hall of Fame coaches, winning coaches, Super Bowl winning coaches. We've brought in football operations people that are Super Bowl winning, and nothing works. And we brought in the hot young coaches, the hot offensive minds, the hot defensive coordinator. We've done it all. Again, some of you have short-term memories. You think that the softness just happened now, and it's been happening since Shula and Marino. You think all of this just started happening? This is nothing new. All of this has been happening for a while now, dude. For a long ass time. It's convenient. Like what? Do you forget that they constantly lose on the road in big games against playoff teams and good teams? Marino did it. You forget that we hired Hall of Fame coaches? You forget that we hired the tough coach? You forget that we hired the offensive coach? You forget that we hired the defensive coach? You forget that we hired the nice guy, the tough guy, the old guy, the younger guy. We've hired them all, dude. They've all failed. So every philosophy you come up with, we've tried it all. Oh, we need the tough guy. We've had it. We need the nice guy. We've had it. We need the offensive mind. We had it. We had the big defensive guy. We had it. We've had it all, dude. We've hired every one of them. We all thought Jimmy Johnson was going to be the bomb. Sorry for you youngins that haven't lived it because you just can't. But, oh, man, we were pushing Shula out. Oh, and Jimmy's bringing Dallas. What happened to Dallas? The Dallas what? What did he bring? Dallas Arena League or something? Okay, so let's, short-term memories here. We've tried all the different coaches. Short-term memories here. We've been soft for decades, for like nearly 40 years, pretty much. Soft for like 40 years. Fold in all the moments, pretty much. What did you forget when you had the chance to go to the Super Bowl again to meet Chicago and you lost to a lesser Patriot team by fumbling 4 times? Soft-ass team. What did you did that? What you free? I get it when these young writers, they can't go back to that because they didn't watch it. They didn't live it. They don't know it. It doesn't register for them like that. So, let's just stay in recent history because that's all I know as a writer. That's all I know while I'm on TV. Hey, it's game day. Here's my pretty pose. That's the media we have nowadays. That's the media you see locally. No substance, no perspective. And then we got the fans. Oh, we need a tough coach. We already had that, bro. So let's not make it sound like it's something new. We've tried it all. So, okay, let's leave the short-term memory. I'll come refresh your memory on what's really gone on here with the Miami Dolphins. Next up, Johnny Pope. The truth about the NFL is there's 4 QBs who will win all of the next 10 Super Bowls, and Tua isn't one of them. That's if he doesn't have a team, he can't win it. What's it called? Mahomes is fantastic. He doesn't win shit last year without a defense. But again, Johnny Pope, you got to know football to know those kind of things. Next up. Turtlehead, the Dolphins looked like they all had IBS and had to crap the entire game. This is why they ran from the contact, so the crap did explode. Very disappointed. Well, you should be. You should be, Turtlehead. You should be disappointed. They're a disgrace. Next up. One Leg Loser podcast. I get we're soft this and that, but what's the solution? How do we fix the Dolphins? What coach? I don't know. I would at least hire Vrabel. That's one place that I would start. Okay? That's one place, but I don't know what the hell they're going to do. So we'll see. Next up, it is Fanatic. You're just making a fool of yourself, cursing and calling people names because you can't get your narrative about Tua. Okay. Thank you. Next up. Johnny Pope, except when it matters. Okay. Next up. Man of 1,005 holds. Dolphins are a potato salad team. Okay. That's soft. That's good. Next up, Johnny Pope again. Hey, does Baker Mayfield still not scramble or break tackles, Big O? Yeah, he will waddle around a little bit, but he's got a much better team. And they give him a Mike Evans. You know, that's smart. And hey, by the way, damn, it was they had a tight end running the field today for Green Bay, Tucker Kraft. Damn. I wonder who wanted that guy at tight end in the draft. Big physical guys, you know, kind of helps your quarterback. Got to assist your quarterback. Next up, Frankie is in. Here's the issue. We always have missing holes, so to compensate, you need a QB that is elite to at least make a run in the playoffs like Marino. Marino didn't have any of that to compensate. Marino couldn't move, dude. What are you talking about? Frankie, you didn't even live it, bro. Just get that out of here. Get out of here. You're just talking stupid shit, bro. You don't know jack shit. Frankie, don't keep opening your mouth. And I appreciate the super chat. You sound stupid, bro. Marino's a statue. He was a god because he had an arm that was like I've never seen before. That's what helped him. But he couldn't move. He wasn't going to carry you. That's why he didn't win shit, bro. He went one time to the Super Bowl and never could make the run again. And that's it. And he made that run and he got lucky. And when he got there, he got his ass handed to him. And it's not his fault. It's just that San Francisco was way better. And by the way, I've had to deal with the same shit. The same people. You would be the guy that would have been slamming Marino in those days. Because there was a whole bunch of people that also are anti-Marino. There's a whole bunch of people out there that are anti-Marino. And they think Marino was the problem. You're that guy, Frankie. You're the guy that if we would have been, I turn the clock back and I actually take you to an era you didn't live and you don't know jack shit about. I take you, you're the guy complaining about Marino throwing it out of bounds in those days. You're the guy saying, oh, Marino didn't win, it's his fault. Because you didn't live it. Now you've heard the story, so that's why you go from it. But at that moment, you would be that guy. Marino didn't have any weapons to bring to the table. He could not do anything. He was as unathletic as it's ever been back there. Him and Tom Brady are like statues, dude. So he just had a gifted arm like nobody. Tua will never be that, ever. That very few people have an arm like Marino. That's something that's so special that I have rarely ever seen anything like that. That powerful and accurate. It was sick. What made Marino was his radar and that release. And that's it. That's all he had. He didn't have anything else. So he had zero weapons to work with. And because he didn't have a running game and because he didn't have a defense, he didn't win shit. And his biggest moments are embarrassments, dude. Against the Patriots, against the Bills for several years, and against the Jags. That's kind of Marino's pinnacle. And all his moments, besides his stats, when he got to the biggest stages, they were disastrous for him, dude. Again, short-term memory, people like you, Frankie, you got no perspective. You can't bring it to the table, my brother, because you don't understand what's really gone on. Next up, Matt Glass, 3,000 pounds of cold gear they packed for the trip. What the hell were they preparing for? The Battle of Bastogne. Come on, ridiculous. I know, right? You heard that report? That was funny. Oh, man. Next up. Cy Love All. This will go down as the greatest waste of talent. Yes. 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 Oh, my God. That's a great line right there. This is one of the wastes of roster I have ever seen in my life. Yes. And I've watched it all. Okay. This is right up there. I've seen very few. All right. Let's get to it. David Furones. He's back from that, I'm sure, really lively locker room. He's ready to go with our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins postgame report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. There he is. You got hopium for us?
A little less of it, but I'm not going to say it's entirely over. I mean,
Are you serious?
Because they lost this game, yeah. I mean, 10
Yeah.
7, if they win their 5, then 10-7 probably gets you in. But yeah, obviously it took a hit today. It took a big hit today.
So when you look at the shortcomings of this team and why they lost, why did they lose?
Why did they lose? Deep question there. One, they played a really good team. They played on the road in the cold weather environment, which has plagued this team, and fell behind early. Started to make some adjustments, had a chance to get back in the game, got down to the 1-yard line, and then brutally missed that one, and then it was all done at that point. But even then, it was still always kind of improbable to make the comeback. Didn't tackle, especially in this cold weather. I feel like when a warm weather team goes into the cold, then the tackling starts to suffer because technique fundamentals starts to change when it hits different. It feels different when you hit and you play the more physical aspects of the game in the cold, and committed too many penalties. So, there were a lot of reasons why they lost this game.
It's a constant that it just seems like teams under McDaniel are not prepared. He's not prepared enough. His players constantly make mistakes. I mean, look at Julian Hill, dude. Why does he play? Why does he play? Well, what does he do to earn a spot every week when he makes a mistake? Guaranteed, every week he will hurt your team. And so it's just, and that's just a little thing, okay? Obviously, there was 100 other things that went on in this game, and you mentioned them. From penalties to mental errors to, even on one drive, Tua kind of was the culprit in it when he misses Achane and Tyreek on that same drive. Those two misses were killer in that drive. You get to the one, dude, what happened to the running game? You abandon the running game once again, and you don't have the kind of offensive line that can pass block all night. They're not that good. You need them going forward some, and you gave them no life to start the running game. It's just, I just feel that under McDaniel, it's so poorly mismanaged. I don't know how you ever see the light at the end of the tunnel with that guy.
Yeah, the preparation was lacking. And, I mean, it was evident from very first – I mean, they come out, get a 3 and out, but then very first chance that a player has to catch a football in these elements, and it's a punt. And I know there's no way to really emulate that in South Florida in the week of practice, in a short week of practice at that with travel, but – Malik Washington muffs the punt, and which I asked Mike McDaniel about, and he said that what Malik told him was it changed direction last moment. I mean, these are the elements you're dealing with, and it's the same for both teams. So he had to be more prepared in that moment. He had to take more preparation from coaching staff. So it started from there, and then you don't run the ball enough in these kind of elements. I just looked down because I couldn't believe it. There were only single-digit ball carriers in terms of attempts. Raheem Mostert had 5, Devon Achane had 7, and Tua twice. They only ran the ball 14 times. And, you played from behind.
Where's Jalen Wright? This is the kind of game that you need to add a little hammer to it, dude.
Yeah, we were talking about it. We wanted to see Jalen Wright in this game, bring a little bit more physicality. Raheem Mostert did it a couple times. I mean, he had a nice stiff arm on one, but had one called back to Tyreek Hill holding on it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and yeah, I mean, the Packers are only they ran 25 times, but look at their disparities: 25 running attempts, and then Jordan Love throwing the ball 28 times. So very even, balanced offense, and they were able to get 4.6 yards per carry on those. So, they came out playing the way you should in these elements, and the Dolphins, albeit playing from behind most of this game, Tua threw the ball 46 times, and sure, he was very efficient, 37-46. I mean, single-digit incompletions, and then you could even count them. Like, you remember the Achane, Misfire, Tyreek Hill. You kind of remember those shortcomings, and there were so few of them. But even at 365 yards passing, you say yourself in a hole the whole game that you couldn't dig out of.
By the way, this segment is brought to you by Welton Rayom. If you need lawyers that you can count on, and with our laws here in Florida, they now benefit the insurance companies. Hiring the right lawyers is the key. Call Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom, 954-966-4646. You're dealing with bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Call Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. I'll ask you a tough question. What's the reason to bring Mike McDaniel back in the 2025 season when he hasn't proven to be the guy in these moments?
Because I have to pause a little bit. No, because you're still sticking to the plan that you have set out from the beginning of this era. It hasn't run its course yet, and you can point to this season that Tua missed those 4 games with injury, with a concussion on injured reserve, and then that sort of derailed the early part of your season, set you in a hole where you have to make this a huge comeback to even get yourself into the playoffs, and they've even brought themselves back into the mix. This was a game that it's tough. You're the Miami Dolphins. You don't go late in the season and go winning at the Green Bay Packers when they're good. So this is a loss that I projected. So, I'm not looking at it like such a shortcoming. Now, why are you even bringing him back? But he did instill a lot of confidence into going back 2 years to get him to the point where, you saw the way he was playing. He was just AFC Offensive Player of the Week. And then now this week isn't even over, and now you just lost a game the next day. But it's challenging.
The difference is you complemented him with a running game, and you played more responsible football in that stretch. And then some of you were buying it already, thinking, "Oh, he finally learned his lesson." And here we go in the moment of truth where you really need the running game. You really need to establish the run. You really need to keep Jordan Love and that offense off the field. You really need to chew up the clock. Brother, you just did not commit yourself to the run. And you did that right from the get-go. And then that's where he thinks you could just turn on the running game at any moment. And you can't if you're not habitually dedicated to it.
Yeah, and also just the game script. When you fall behind 14-zip in the first quarter, then that's the way the game is going to go. You're playing from behind the whole way. So, yeah, you're throwing in those cases. Now, I always do prefer even when it's a 2-touchdown lead early, you stick to the game. Right, because there's still 3 quarters of the game left to play. So I don't think you need to
put together a really structured drive. You run the hell out of the ball and you score. It's 14-7. You're right back in the game again, and you're giving your team some life. That's the other thing. If you don't have success, it doesn't. I noticed. I don't know if you noticed it when they went up 14-0. Tyreek was up clapping. Come on, yeah, let's go. When it went 21-3, he was sitting there in the cold, and he was like, because he knew what was up already at that point.
Yeah. That one felt like a big one, like a crusher there, and then they started doing all their dances in the end zone right before halftime, and then obviously not coming up with the following drive, that was key. Where then the Packers right before halftime were able to quickly get into field goal range and add on to it even more. But actually, at 14-0, then one of their better drives was to that field goal that followed to get, because they held the ball for 7 minutes, and then there was some of the I got to look back at the drive, maybe some of the run game, but then also using the short passing game as a run game complement. So they matched a 7-minute drive with one of their own. When the Packers, though, they came up with the touchdown, Dolphins with a field goal there. But yeah, it was a good drive. And then I'm trying to remember what was the end of that one. They had a play called back, right? Or well, they had to play to Waddle to get inside the 10, and then they started going backwards. Yeah, and then that was their detriment that time. But you still had chances to stick to the run. Although at 21-3, you were trying to score at the end of the half too.
Yeah, the sad part is that's the life you live. Oh, you had chances. Oh, you could have done this. Oh, you could have done that. That's kind of the life that Dolphins live for 35, 40 years now. They never really get it done. There's always close but no cigar. You know what I mean? Always the bridesmaid, not the bride. You know, all those cliches. That's who the Dolphins have been, dude. That's who they've always been. It doesn't matter who the coach is. They do just enough to tease you, and then they kind of like, oh, well, if they could have done this, and now you're saying, well, they can still run the table. I see another writer out there putting, well, I don't think running the table is out of question, but why? What would give you that thought that they could do that with this coach? That's kind of the part I don't understand.
It's the schedule. It's the schedule. You look at it, and you don't have another at Green Bay game on the schedule.
No.
Yeah.
You don't. But you lost to the Colts. You lost to the Seahawks.
Without Tua. Both of those without Tua.
Okay. You lost 4 games you shouldn't have lost. You know what I'm saying? Either way.
Lost the Cardinals at home. Yeah. And that one was with Tua, but his first game back. Yeah.
Right. But you lost. You shouldn't have lost that game.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
You had to win that game. You've lost. And what was the other game that they lost? Titans, bro. The Titans are a terrible team. You lost that one too. I don't care if it's with or without Tua. You still lost the damn game.
I still look back to if you didn't need to make it an IR stint for Tua, but you still said, all right, 3 games you're going to miss plus the bye, because you had the bye week in that stretch. If you would have had him back first for the Colts game that follows, which was still 38 days after the concussion, when on day 39, the following day, that Monday, it was the big rollout, like now Tua's ready. We're going to bring him back this week. So, but I feel like, especially if he didn't have any symptoms from right after that concussion, and I know you want to be sensitive to it and let it all play out, but I feel like, they would have won that Colts game with Tua, and then he would have been on a run going into the Cardinals and maybe the Bills game.
Why should we be sensitive anymore? He doesn't give a shit about his body. Why should we give a shit? I don't understand that. Do you want to write an article about that? Why is it the rest of us have to carry a burden he doesn't give a shit about? He's not worried about his family. He's not worried about his team. He puts his body at risk. He puts his entire team at risk, entire season. You just said in this interview, well, they can bring him back because if Tua, if he doesn't miss games, well, I'm sorry, he's going to miss games. He's irresponsible. He told you flat out. He's not putting a guardian cap. He's not going to stop diving. He's not going to stop tackling. He's not going to stop doing what he has to do. If he has to die on the field, so be it. So I ask you again, why the hell should we have sympathy and respect? I'm missing something here.
Yeah.
If people involved don't give a shit, if players take dirty shots at each other constantly, there was a late hit on Tua today. They don't give a shit. They'll take shots at each other, dirty-ass shots at each other. They are willing to risk whatever it takes to play, and then the burden is on us to be respectful, to be sympathetic. That sounds pretty ignorant, dude. That sounds crazy. That sounds like it's insane. So I'm supposed to have sympathy for you because you're reckless and you don't care about yourself. Weird. So he was fine in Seattle the following week. He was there. The Dolphins season went up in smoke because of optics. You only put him on IR for optics because the kid could have played the following week in Seattle. Because you had to have been cleared by a neurologist to get on that plane to fly for 5.5 hours. So what's up, bro? Tell me. Of course you won't. Just like the whole Jalen Phillips mess. You're not going to talk about that either because that's a mess also. It's just weird that we're supposed to have the sympathy when he doesn't care. It's weird.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the on-field decisions, I know that comes from you're in the heat of competition and you want to make a play. And he's a football player and he views it as a warrior mentality out there, even when he's not supposed to be playing the quarterback position. I know I'm shaking my head with you, but I'm just saying that's what's going through his head when he's trying to compete out there.
No, it's all premeditated. There's nothing in the moment, my brother. That's a lie. You're creating a lie. It's all premeditated.
Now you're making split-second decisions on the field, though.
That's a lie. He told you at the podium he'll do whatever it takes. It's premeditated, my brother. There is no, at the moment I had to do this. He's doing it anyway. He told all of us, I am going to do what I have to do in order to win a game. He has told us there's no, it's just in the moment. It's all premeditated. So,
but on the other hand, we have also seen him make the correct slide, dive for a first down when it's not going into a defender. So those are split-second decisions where he made the right call.
And that's premeditated. The same thing. You know what you're doing. So don't do it. But you know what you're doing and you're still diving. You know what you're doing and you're avoiding the tackle. Either way, it's premeditated. You got to stop making it sound like that. He told you who he is. Don't cover up for him anymore. I'm not covering up for him. You shouldn't cover up for him because that's what you're doing. None of it is at the moment. He told you what he plans to do. So when he dives, it's because he felt like diving. And when he doesn't, it's because he felt like he didn't have to do it. That's it. That's all. It's pretty simple. It's not a spur of the moment thing. It's part of his game. It's part of his DNA.
To an extent, yeah. But
it's crazy.
But to an extent, but then there are still moments where he makes that safe decision in the moment. So, yeah, I mean, he is wired to compete and want to lay it all out for his team. So, which I get that. That's part of what got him here.
Right.
You got to have that mentality.
But I can't be sympathetic for it anymore because you don't care. So why should I care? You don't care. You're going to do it and put the entire season at risk. That's the ultimate irresponsibility. You're going to play to the point that you're willing to put your team's season at risk. You know you're the ultimate piece to the entire puzzle. Without you, they can't compete. Yet you're willing to do the things that will put you out of a game and ruin it for your team. Think about that.
Yeah. And then there's also another element of the team and the franchise should have been better prepared with the backup quarterback, understanding everything at play and how Tua could be susceptible to injury and how the offense is just far too dependent on him when you have the discrepancy between him and the backup quarterback. And so the position that the franchise was put in for any moment where he were to miss games was also a big factor here.
Yeah. No, it was
in the downfall this season.
What are you telling Dolphin fans tomorrow in the Sun Sentinel?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wrapping it up for what it is, it's a loss where the team, did not handle the elements, just fell into the same narratives that have always stuck with this team. And they lost to another contender, lost in a cold environment. So all those things. And then just following up on any other news and notes, we have Cater Co, who suffered an injury today. Yeah, that hurts. Lower back issue is what that one was. Cam Smith dislocated shoulder. So now a lot of injuries to follow up on going into this upcoming week. Dolphins have a little mini bye here before the next game.
It's official. Cam Smith, fragile. It's official.
Yeah.
It's official. Handle with care. I don't know if he'll ever be a player or not. I know this. His body is fragile as hell. Man, that guy can't stay healthy, and he barely plays. You barely play, and you can't stay healthy. It's weird.
Yeah, think about it. I mean, because with Kendall Fuller out, then he would be on for for maybe a quarter of the nickel packages. Storm Duck, when he's on, was playing more than him as that third corner. Then Cater Co, who goes out, and then it's like, all right, now Duck and Cam Smith are 2 and 3. And then, boy, it didn't last long before then he also went out in this game. So, he's another one, injured thing. Yeah.
He can't hang in a practice. He can't stay healthy during practice. He can't stay healthy during the season. He can't stay. And this is 2 years in a row that it's just sack of injury, one after another, after another, after another, after another. I can't call him a bust as a player because I haven't seen enough, but I can call him a bust because the kid can't stay healthy, bro. Like, wow, that's one fragile dude. Football's not made for Cam Smith, unfortunately. NFL football is made for him. That's for sure.
And we're coming down to the end of year 2 for him as the top draft pick for the Dolphins. He was a second-round pick, but the top choice that they made in that draft, and we still really have not seen anything from him. And anytime he does get opportunities, and very quickly after, he's out of the game.
Total disaster so far, Cam Smith. Total disaster. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, you're a stud. Thank you, my brother. Hang in there and safe travel.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
You got it. There you go. And call my friends, Welton Rayom. They'll treat you a lot better than the Dolphins. Oh, man, yes. Oh, yeah. Jeff Welt, by the way, is a Dolphins fan, a long-suffering Dolphins fan, a Canes fan. Well, he's at least enjoying the Canes season. He's not really enjoying the Dolphins season much. So you could talk Dolphins with him. You could talk Canes. You could talk Bitcoin, big Bitcoin guy. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Daniel Rayom is a stunt pilot. You think he's nervous when he goes to court? Give me a break. This guy's a stunt pilot. He's got balls of steel, and he will crush the opposing insurance company with those balls of steel. So call Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom, 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
John Montgomery, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. Remember, you can make a donation. That's the best way to support our show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. You can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, too. And you can also make a donation through PayPal. Sean Stanley will show you the QR codes there if you want to use them. And we tell you that we don't mind the Super Chats, but YouTube takes 30%, and we hate that. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, we get 100%. That keeps us afloat. That's better. John Montgomery, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. Always spot on, spitting the truth tonight. Only thing I might argue with you on is I've lost hope in Tua coming up big in games like this. I have not whatsoever. My problem with Tua is that he is freaking hard-headed, and he pisses me off that he won't take care of his body. That pisses me off. That puts the season at risk every year because he told you he's going to refuse to do it. So that, to me, is a real disrespect to the team, to the fan base, to everybody, because you're going to be irresponsible and ruin the season for your team because without you, they can't compete. But the worst thing that they do is they don't know how to build around the quarterback. They actually have a guy that can pass, and they don't get it. They don't know how to really manage this whole thing. So that's the real problem I see, my brother. So that's where we're going to disagree. If you had a better coach, you would probably get better results. So appreciate it. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show, and on PayPal is the other way that you can also make a donation, and we send in your comments, questions, insults, all kinds of stuff. Next up on the Super Chats, Sean, it is Toby Marmorino. The next time Holland makes a big or game-changing play will be the first time, and not talking about the Fail Mary, hate to say it, but he's just a Jag. Toby, he has played like one. I can't argue with that. I keep holding out hope that I'm going to see what I saw early on in his career, in his first year and a half, and I have not seen it since the knee injuries from last year. Since the knee injuries from last year, he has gone completely downhill. So I can't argue with you, Toby, on that one. I'd love to and tell you you're wrong. You know, I would tell you if you're wrong. Right now, you might be the right one right now. Not and some of you have been. It's taken me a while, but it's getting to a point where I'm kind of tired of seeing out of position, missed tackles. I've seen too many mistakes from Javon Holland, and this secondary can't afford it. So I understand when you feel that way. Next up, it is Toxic Fart. I knew the Dolphins would beat the 85 Bears. I know these Dolphins can't beat a 6-5 team. That is true, Toxic Fart. That is true. We were the perfect matchup for the 85 Bears because of Marino. Next up, Johnny Pope. I heard McD makes a mean hot cocoa. That's so nice after the game, and the Dolphins were number one in diversity and inclusion this year. Oh, that is awesome. That's a good one. I like that one. Next up, that's funny. To a time. Haven't checked in for a bit. What the hell? Did you shave? And F Trump. Well, listen, I'm not a Trump or a Biden or a Harris person, as you all know. But as a Bitcoin guy, I got to tell you, country's going to go to crap and he's going to print a lot of money, but Bitcoin's going to explode, baby. Next up. Kickback. Greer's still not worried about the O-line as we are. That's going to be the running joke for Chris Greer. I get it. He deserves it. Next up. That's it? Okay. We have caught up with the Super Chats. You guys are super. Thank you. Appreciate you. Very kind. Damn. That was impressive. Do we have any news coming through, Sean? You seeing anything from the writers, just in case? Anything reports that we didn't get from the Furones interview? I am still waiting on Chris Perkins. He does have a link, so, but he might still be
called
working.
Team Soft. That's pretty much the.
Well, yeah, he's been calling them soft. Wow, so he's it is what it is. Jean Rivera says Fangio had nothing to do with drafting Smith. He was the one who criticized his commitment and dedication. And oh, by the way, if you haven't noticed, Fangio has that Eagles defense top rated. They played top 10 last year, even with Fangio. Fangio wasn't good with the young people, but they still played top 10. Fangio cost you that Tennessee game. I don't care what anybody tells me. You know what I'm saying? Fangio was disgusting in that Tennessee loss. That was one that was just an absolute, gross irresponsibility. Andrew Watson, by the way, chimes in on Venmo. Thank you, Andrew Watson, for your donation. He says, serious question for your listener, Toxic Fart. Okay, so we've got a Venmo question for Toxic Fart now. Has he ever had a toxic shart? Hope the fart master responds. So, Toxic Fart, have you ever had a toxic shart? It's kind of a mess, isn't it? To have a toxic shart? That's not, I don't know. Do you want to share that story? I mean, it happens to a lot of people. You know, you do a little poo-poo in your pants. That's how McDaniel does it. He does poo-poo in his pants. He doesn't shit in his pants. He poo-poos. Okay? Remember this. In a heavy tight end draft, they took Cam Smith instead of one of those tight ends that is a failure on the front office. Well, you needed the corner because of the igmonogamy thing. So you needed to develop another one before you got off the X train. So I get the method behind the madness. It just not has worked out, unfortunately, because Cam Smith, Jesus Christ, he can't play because he hasn't shown us anything, but he can't stay healthy. He's absolutely fragile. So, yeah. Does McDummy get fired if we don't make the playoffs? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know how you have the balls to bring back Mike McDaniel this next season. Seriously. I don't know how you can look at your fan base and tell them everything's all right with Mike McDaniel in the 2025 season. I don't know how you really do that, seriously. Sonny Zhao says McDaniel once again abandoning the run 1 yard away from the end zone and stop running, dumbass. Bob says Bitcoin is our freedom from the feds, Big O. Amen to that. Amen. They're all going to print like crazy, bro. All of them. I don't care which side. They all print like crazy. So the orange man will print. Get that Bitcoin, baby. Get that Bitcoin. Everybody prints. Larry Greya says, you are right. It was Fangio's fault in the Tennessee game last year. Come on, man. No, and in the Lamar Jackson game, too. He blitzes in those two games. You might end up winning those games. And he didn't blitz. Those two games, he really screwed up in a big-time way. Do you get a big ring for inclusion? You do, Drew. Yes. McDaniel hands out rings at the end of the year for the nicest person in the building. The person that brings the most muffins in the morning throughout the season will also get a big muffin and a big kiss. Yeah. Yep, that's how McDaniel rolls. Toby Marmorino, thank you for the super chat. You're all over the place. Flores was a bad coach, but his teams were not soft. Really? How's that final year? How did he perform against the good teams? I thought he lost against all the good teams. And then he pumped up the schedule by beating all the shitty teams in the second half of the season. I think conveniently you're forgetting what happened that season. As much as he talked a good game, they folded against the good teams. Stuck in the middle again, dude. That final season, I kept explaining to you all why he was getting fired. And, he's got a winning streak going on. Bro, it's not the winning streak. The winning streak's against the shitty teams. He's getting fired because he lost all the games against the good teams at the beginning of the season. And he dug himself in a hole that then he's trying to get out, which is what this guy does constantly. You're conveniently forgetting that Flo lost to all the good teams that first season. All right, let's do it, baby. Our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins post-game report with a guy that isn't soft, but he covers a soft team. That's Chris Perkins.
Time to go to the locker room, Miami Dolphins fans. Let's find out what's percolating with the one and only Chris Perkins in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins post-game report.
So, Perk, do you walk in the locker room with just Charmin? Just looking around and see who to interview?
You remember Mr. Whipple, right? Wasn't he the don't squeeze the Charmin? Whipple, yeah, Mr. Yeah. Don't squeeze the Charmin. That was back in the day. Yeah, that's back in the day, y'all. You have to be over 50 to remember that. Look, Big O, this team, man. I've concluded they just aren't that good, Big O. We can talk about the cold weather and them being soft and all that. They just aren't that good, and they beat bad teams and they lose to good teams. And I personally like these guys. I like Chris Greer. I like Mike McDaniel. I like a lot of. They're not getting the job done. They are absolutely. They have dropped the ball here in many ways on many levels, and we'll see how the season plays out to see what needs to change. But they definitely need to be a tougher team. There is no doubt about that.
By the way, that's been going on for 35 plus.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. The back end of Shula, because Marino's teams were soft too, bro. They were all finesse, and they would get punched in the mouth all the time, dude.
Yep.
I mean, that's nothing new.
Well, I would say I don't think
Johnson would get embarrassed in the playoffs, and Dave Wannstedt would get embarrassed in the playoffs, and everybody else. Nothing's changed. The team has been the same for like 35 years, where they beat the shitty teams, and they lose to the good teams. The last year Flo was here. We were just talking about it. He got fired because he lost to all the good teams in the first half of the season. And then he got on a roll in the second half of the season, but it was against all the shitty teams.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what coach it is. Adam Gase, Don Shula, Jimmy Johnson, Mike McDaniel. It's funny that none of them win in the cold. None of them really win ever big games. The Dolphins never make deep runs in the playoffs anymore. That's like 40 years ago, dude.
Yeah, no, that's been going on for a while.
All they do is they show up in the playoffs the best they can do, and maybe once in a blue moon, they get to the second round. That's it, dude.
Yeah.
That's the most that could ever happen with this franchise. It's been habitual. All the issues are habitual for decades, bro.
Yeah. I don't think Wannstedt's teams were soft. I don't think that at all. They just weren't good enough. You needed a better quarterback than Jay Fiedler.
Punch you in the mouth all the time too. That would have helped. And yes, they needed a better quarterback.
Yeah, but I don't consider like Richmond Webb soft or Tim Ruddy or OJ McDuffie or Rondé Gadsden. You can talk about how good they were, but they weren't soft. This team here I would say this team is definitely more finesse, and they were built in that way. They were built for speed. And you saw it on the goal line stand there, right? That you don't have a Chris Brooks. You don't have anybody that you can just line up I formation and ram it down their throat. You have to get cute. And last year it was jet sweeps and Durham Smythe taking the direct snap from center. And this year you ran one run tonight, right? Achane got stopped on second down, I think, and then the Tua incomplete, and then the Tua sack, if I'm recalling that series correctly. But yeah, Big O, that's the territory where you just lined it up 4 times. I mean, run these guys the freak off the line of scrimmage and establish yourself. But this team isn't built like that. This team is built for finesse. It's built for speed. It's built for cutesy stuff. You've got to change that in the offseason. You 100% have to change that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. They have, but again, I asked Furones this, and I'll ask you this: how do you even look at your fan base straight in the face and say, no, we can tweak this. We're going to bring McDaniel back? I'm sorry. I don't think you can sell McDaniel to this fan base. I certainly don't believe in McDaniel anymore. I think he's the biggest problem. I think if you actually had a real coach, you would probably have 3-4 more wins easily on this record overall. I'm not saying you win both Buffalo games, but you might have won that second one with a real coach. Overall, maybe you don't lose that Cardinal game, and maybe you win some of those shitty games, even without Tua. There's a bunch of things that I think that could have happened with a real coach. So how do you sell McDaniel to the fan base? Because I don't believe in the guy. I don't know how many people do at this point.
I think you sell him making Tua the front man, right? Where you have Tua saying, "I love Mike McDaniel," and you kind of point to that and you rely on that. You look at the work that Mike McDaniel did with Tua, and that's your best sales job for Mike McDaniel right there, is the work that he did with Tua, and you get Tua to be your front man, and that's pretty much how you sell it. After that, Big O, the frustrating thing with me is, I don't think Mike McDaniel is a bad coach, and I've said this before. I think he's just too stubborn, and he's just been too stuck in his ways about, he finally got the tight end and made an attempt to get the slot receiver this year, but the stuff you're doing right now, you should have been doing this last year. And so now you're like a year behind because you thought you could get away with this cutesy passing game, and you couldn't. And it finally showed up this year that everybody's going to shut you down. Last year, it was just the good teams. This year, it's everybody. But you should have gotten ahead of things, and now you're like a year behind. So
no big receivers.
Right, correct. No big receivers, right. You stayed the same fast, cutesy team.
You keep throwing fades to Oompa Loompas, which, by the way, doesn't help your quarterback, okay?
No.
You know how more accurate your quarterback has to be because he throws to midgets all over the place?
Yeah.
Dude, come on, bro. I mean, you have some big receivers.
Yeah, McDaniel is, I still think that he's bright and innovative and sharp and all that, but man, I think his stubbornness, his ego, his hard-headedness all kind of have gotten in the way here because, and again, like I've written, why isn't somebody in the building telling Mike McDaniel, we've got to change? Chris Greer or somebody just telling him, like, Mike, you're missing an opportunity here. Like, we traded first-round picks for Tyreek and for Bradley Chubb, and we signed Teron Armstead to this huge free agent contract, and we've got these first-round picks, right, with Jalen Phillips and Tua and Jalen Waddle. And like, you're messing up this opportunity. Somebody in that building has got to make that man listen, but nobody does.
It's funny because I've told a few people in that building he's going to get you fired.
Yeah.
And right now there are coaches, assistant coaches, there are scouts, there are front office people. They're all nervous as hell now.
Yeah. Look, you've got to be. You've got to be because
they could easily blow him out and the front office. And when they bring new people in, you think all these people are going to survive? No, bro. A lot of these people are going to go. And so right now there's a lot of nervous people in that building because they know in the building that Mike McDaniel is not the guy, by the way. They know.
The people that I've talked to, people like Mike. People like Mike. There's nobody clamoring for
Mike
Mike
too, bro.
Oh, no, I know. Look, Big O, I know. But
in fact, I love Dave Wannstedt. He is a really nice man, bro.
Yep, sure
He's
is.
Good human being. Yep. Do you want him as your head coach?
Nope. And look, the thing with McDaniel is that you again, if you get rid of Mike, what are you going to do with Chris Greer? Because that's only part of the problem, right? So are you going to clean house? And so now the new coach and new GM have got to want to work with Tua. And if you're going to clean house,
all those salaries.
Yes, that's it, Big O. If you're going to clean house, do you really need Tyreek and Waddle? I mean, look at what Kansas City did. They got 5 for 1 for Tyreek and then won back-to-back Super Bowls.
Hey, dude, you're on the show that got hammered for saying, do not guarantee Tyreek any money. Let him go after this season, part ways, and I got killed. Just like I got killed after X had the 10 interceptions, and I said, now's the time. Trade him now.
Yeah.
And there you go. So, that's, so I would not have guaranteed him that money, and now they're stuck with him for another season.
Yeah. It's going to be
they can't get rid of him until after 2020.
I mean, or you take pennies on the dollar. You get ripped off. Yeah,
they're not going to do that because then they're going to have to release other people because of the acceleration of that cap.
Yeah.
Cap money. Yeah.
But I want to see what happens at the top. Really, I mean, if you get rid of Mike McDaniel or Chris Greer, you almost have to get rid of both of them. And then what happens with Tua?
Right.
So it's you really have to see how the rest of the season unfolds to me before we can say what we would do here on November 29th, but let's see how the rest of the season unfolds. Let's see who does what, if they learn.
You're not selling any
Oh,
hope.
no. I'm selling, can somebody do something to show you that they should have this job next season? Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel, the players, like you're playing for jobs. You're still trying that outside chance of making the playoffs. I think that ship has sailed. But really, this is about if I'm Steve Ross or Tom Garfinkel or whoever, who's going to impress me? Who's going to give me a reason to not blow this whole thing up? And what is our wisest course of action? That's kind of what I'm looking at now. If I'm Steve Ross, Tom Garfinkel, the president of the team, to a certain extent, Chris Greer, but you're one of those names on that list. There's so much uncertainty right now.
I like McKenzie. I like Allen. I like Greer.
Yep.
I think they know what they're doing to a certain extent. Where they have screwed up, and I can't defend them, is Flo and McDaniel. And as I've said many times, while I like the talent on this team, and I think if you had a better coach, you'd be in a way better position right now with more wins. You would have been better prepared if Tua went down with a better quarterback, because the biggest indictment on McDaniel was you were around this guy for 2.5 years, and that's how he played. Bro, that means you can't assess talent. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah,
you made some confidence up Tua's ass, but you didn't make Tua what he is. Tua is what he is. He's an excellent passer. That's who he is. But this guy didn't make him. You know what I'm saying? So that's my problem with all of this.
He put him in a system where he could thrive. That's what Mike McDaniel did, and he gave him confidence. He rebuilt Tua's broken confidence. That's what he did, and Tua trusts him implicitly. And so, what happens to Tua if Mike McDaniel leaves? I'm not saying that. I'm saying mentally, what happens to him?
It's simple for me. You bring in a Mike Vrabel type. You build up a strong ass line. You run the hell out of the ball. You use your tight ends, and Tua will be fine. But if you have a line that's not pushing people around, and you don't have a running game, and you want him to carry you, that's not who he is, dude. That's not who he is.
No, it's not.
You got to build it in the Alabama form. You got to build it like in certain places, like in Green Bay. For Jordan Love has a running game every week, dude. And they the ends all the time. That's been part of the offense and the DNA. This guy got here, and he was the run coordinator and forgot to run the ball.
Well, I think Mike McDaniel wanted to put his own stamp on the Shanahan offense and speed. And so, you remember I was the guy begging for him to get Dalvin Cook. And it turned out that Dalvin Cook wouldn't have been the right guy, but the whole thought and the whole premise was you need a number 3 option in your offense. It doesn't matter if it's a workhorse running back, a receiving running back, a receiving tight end, a slot receiver. You needed that number 3 option behind Tyreek and behind Jalen Waddle. And ideally, it would have been a workhorse running back because that gives you a different dimension and it helps take some pressure off of Tua. But they continue down this speed path. Sam Laporta was there. Nah, we don't need that. It's just like Mike, and that's why I always wonder who's talking to him in that building, and are people talking and he's not listening, or is nobody talking? And I haven't figured that out yet. But to go down this path continually for last year and this year with this cutesy finesse offense, it's like, can't you see this isn't going to work? I kept yelling for that, but you're getting your butt kicked by good teams. You have no power. You're all finesse. And, they're just not built for what they need to be doing. Like you say, you've got to be able to run the ball. You don't have a guy you can give the ball to 15, 18, 20 times a week for 5 straight games. They're going to break down.
How is Jalen Wright not in a game like this, dude?
Well, I think that with Jalen Wright, he's a rookie, and look, neither him nor Skyler came back into that game last week, and both of them, that could be it for both of them. I mean, with Snoop Huntley being activated, They're both Skylar and Jalen Wright. That might have been it for them. That might have been Big O, because we didn't see. Well, we weren't going to see Skylar tonight, but yeah, we didn't see Jalen tonight.
They won't even use Jalen Wright at running back anymore. I mean, he's the one that brings a little bit of a hammer, bro.
Of course he does. Of course he does. That should have been your takeaway from that New England game. That first New England game is that we need to get this kid the ball, because he runs between the tackles and he moves the pile. Like, he makes stuff happen. Yes. That wasn't their takeaway. Their takeaway was, we need to feature Raheem more. And then you had Indy, and then you had Buffalo, and now Raheem's not featured anymore. And it's just like, who's running the show there? Like, what are y'all looking at? But McDaniel loves that cutesy. He was just determined that speed and finesse, and this is the way we're going to play. This is the way we're going to win. And it's like, you're not winning anything. You're going to beat a bunch of bad teams. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. You're right about that. Follow him on Twitter, by the way, at Chris Perk. Chris, what do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel, sir?
Oh boy, it's the Jordan Brooks comment after the game that the team is soft and that the weather affected them. I'm gonna dive into that. Jordan Brooks, I thought it was interesting. He was the only player who said that weather affected him. The guy from Texas. I'm from Texas, but Poyer said no. Zach Sealer said no. Kendall Lamb said no. So I thought that's interesting, and I don't know exactly why he said it, but he had to have good reason. I don't know why he's the only player who said it.
He's pissed.
He's pissed, but I don't know how. I don't think that it was weather. I think that it was just a team that was better than you beat you, which was the same case in the playoffs in Kansas City, the same case up in Buffalo. Like, you probably weren't going to beat those teams if it was 76 and sunny at Hard Rock Stadium. So, but I'm going to delve into that, because I think it's fascinating that a player would say that so publicly and on the record with cameras turned on. By the way, Big O, is it just me, or have there been a lot of people saying that their team is soft lately? Jared Mayo, Malik Neighbors, right? I think there was one more player who said that his team was soft. That's kind of going around right now.
Well, it's the truth. And
yeah.
It's the truth. You at least you're man enough to say it. That was the fun part. Zach Thomas would openly say, "We suck."
Yeah.
Yep. It was beautiful. It was one of those things like, okay, well, he's saying exactly what we're thinking.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things. What are you going to do? At least you're being honest about it. And they were soft.
Yeah.
And they got punched in the mouth again. And they crumbled like they've been doing for nearly 40 years, bro. It doesn't matter if it's the Dolphins and the Patriots, and the Dolphins are trying to get back to beating the Bears, and there's 4 fumbles in the game. And you lose to an inferior Patriot team that lost by 50 points in the Super Bowl, that had no reason to be there, but the Dolphins choked away that. And you think about Marino's greatest moments, they're all bad. It's that against the Bills in the 90s. It's 62-7. He has so much heartache. When he got to the Super Bowl against the Niners, bro, the Niners were 100 times better than the Dolphins. They dominated them on the line, defensively and offensively. Why? Because they were tougher. This has been going on forever, dude. Forever.
Yeah. The Dolphins, they Big O, they really do need a good GM, and he puts in a system, an Ozzie Newsome type, and you recruit to the system. No matter who the head coach is, whatever, you recruit to that system. The Steelers, right? Exactly. The Philly and San Francisco, and you recruit to the system, but this team, Chris Greer has
Green Bay. And by the way, they figured out the quarterback shit, because they seem to put their guy on ice for a couple of years, Rodgers, and now this guy. Yeah. And now they've done something that nobody does. They've gone 3 straight franchise quarterbacks. That's just stupid. That's a culture too in place that Ron Wolf started.
Yep. Yep, exactly. So, well, hopefully we see that happen here with the Dolphins. But yeah, I think, getting a strong there's so many questions to answer in this offseason. We'll see how the rest of the regular season plays out. But to me, that the rest of the regular season is kind of trying to figure out where do we go from here? How do we move forward and not move backwards again?
Look at the bright side. You can now start talking about the draft. There it is.
Oh, man.
Follow us at Chris Perkins, baby. Yes, sir. Got his work. He'll be talking about the draft.
That's
like
it.
we always do in Dolphins season.
Yes. Yes. And we'll compare notes in Mobile once again, Big O, at the Senior Bowl.
There you go. All right, Perk. Much love,
man.
brother. Be good.
All right. You too. Happy Thanksgiving. Yep. All right.
There you go. And call my guy Eric at EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. Custom home construction, major home remodeling. You're going to love Eric. He's been at it for over 20 years. They've got a AAA plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Dade and Broward counties, houses only, businesses only. He does not work on condos. So call him, 305-433-4843.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins post-game report with the Sun Sentinel's Chris Perkins. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
All right. A couple of super chats came in. Sean, what do we got? Carlos Rivera. This GM and coach are failing Tua. You have to build toughness to this team to win these games. I'm tired of this speed crap. Give me Devontae Parker again. Give me a running back that will sit your ass down. Okay. And I get the Devontae Parker thing. I know what he means, like a big possession guy. Not that he really wants Devontae Parker back, but he wants like a Devontae Parker back guy. Like I get what he's saying. Good job, Carlos. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Next up. They don't have any big receivers. It's just so stupid. And that's because you have an ignorant coach. Tony Marmorino, Flores' career record 23-25, McD 25-24 with much better talent. Flores had zero superstars like McD does. Who's the better coach? Neither one. They both suck. Flores can't build an offense, my brother. He can't build an offensive staff. He doesn't even know what a good QB looks like. He would play the jabroni guy over Tua, thinking he could win games with jabroni and not Tua. That was a stupid man. The discussion of Flores or McDaniel is ridiculous. I don't want either one. I don't want them. I don't want Cam Cameron. I don't want Adam Gase. I don't want any of these idiots. They all suck. Next up. It's like comparing a turd and another turd, except maybe this turd has a couple of flies. I don't know. McDaniel or Flo. What a comparison. Oh, my God. Do you want shit or do you want shit? What shit do you want? We got shit for you. We got a lot of shit for you. Andrew Watson, thank you for the love on Venmo. Thank you, John Montgomery. Appreciate you all out there. Thank you. Hey, Big O, tough shit to watch. Happy Thanksgiving, brother. It's been tough for us for a long, long time, man. Please, by the way, smash the hell out of the like button, okay? We appreciate that in a big-time way. We're going to wrap it up here on behalf of Sean Stanley. I am Orlando Alsgary and suffering like you guys. We'll be back tomorrow morning. What do you think, Sean? What do you think, 11 o'clock instead of 10? Is that good with you? Yes, let's do that. We're going to do 11 because we can do whatever the hell we want on this platform. We're going to be at 11, and we'll be at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. So come on out and join us. We'll be back at 11 to talk about this disaster that is the Dolphins. At least we know officially for some of you out there, the season's over. If you listened to me back with the Colts, you would have, at least this would have hurt a little less. but it's hurting right now. Hang in there. I love you all. One day it'll get better. I don't know when, but one day. Be good out there.
You've been listening to our Dolphins post-game show with Big O. The broadcast is brought to you by Welton Rayom, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, RM Contractors, Toyota of Hollywood, Haineswear, Sloman's Home Security, BigCheeseMiami.com, EJD Construction. The broadcast is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley. Thank you for supporting the platform and our fantastic sponsors. Go Fins!